Welcome to the Books on Air podcast. I'm Suzanne Harris, and my viewers get the story behind every book. Joining me today is Ria Mann Rosa, and she's here to talk about her book, Big Girls Get Stepped On Too. Welcome, Ria.
Hi, Suzanne.
Your book is so interesting. Can I classify it as a stream of consciousness novel? Is that fair?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Let's talk about how it came to be. I discovered that there are always two stories behind every book. There's the story that the reader gets as they read the book, but then there's always a story behind the book. There's always a story about how it came to be. I'm curious. How did Big Girls Get Stepped Onto come to be?
It's through my experiences really from high school, growing up, my teenage years.
So it's all about you.
Yes, from my experiences.
I noticed when I read the excerpt on Amazon that you dedicated the book to your mom. And that
my grandma.
You said you were inspired by Marilyn Monroe?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about both of those things. Why your mom and why Marilyn Monroe?
It's the character in the book is in the character's grandma, and she's inspired by my grandma in real life. And in the book, the character who is the grandma, she dresses like Marilyn Monroe. And she wears a black mole and she wears a wig, but she doesn't act like Marilyn. And she just is a big fan of hers. And in real life, I'm a big fan of Marilyn Monroe.
I like that. That. Let's give our viewers an overview of your experiences that you share in the book.
In the story, she's going through a difficult time. She's just a typical teenager. She has a difficult time with her friends, boys, and it's just about her experiences. And there's also a character that's really big as life, the grandma, and she's quite funny and hilarious.
What time span does it take place over, Ria?
Just as soon as you get into the book and you read about it, you can read character of the grandma. You can read about her and how she is.
Who did you have in mind when you were writing the book? Who did you have in mind that would read it?
Young people, I think, young readers. At the time, I was quite young when I wrote the book. Young teenagers, I think, would really love and enjoy to read the book.
Because it's really the adventures of a teenage girl.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's quite got a lot of drama in there, and a lot goes on in the book, and it's quite hilarious and funny. I think it was. I quite enjoyed writing the book. It was quite funny and made me laugh too whilst I was writing.
Did you learn anything about yourself when you were writing the book?
Yeah, I got to know that, understand myself as a writer more. And the story was good, and I really enjoyed the writing process of it.
What do you plan to do? Are you going to write more books?
Yes, I am, yes. I recently published my second novel just before Halloween.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me a little about it.
The book is called Angelula. It's about a half angel, half Dracula, and she goes through a bit of a battle.
Interesting. Where do you get your ideas?
This idea just came to me on Halloween one time. I was thinking about Halloween and what to do, and then I just thought of Angelula, because I was thinking of what I was going to wear, what costume I was going to wear, how to have fun on Halloween, and half angel and half Dracula just came to me, and I thought yeah, that sounds like a good song because I'm also a singer-songwriter as well. And then I thought of the story to write a novel.
It's always fascinating to me to talk to authors, especially authors who write fiction, because you think differently. You see the world slightly differently, don't you think?
Yes, I think so.
What's your writing process like, Ria? I know that some authors will sit down at a computer and it's like a movie starts in their heads. I'm a writer myself, and that's how I write. Only I like to use a tablet. I like to write. I like to feel it. I like to feel the words come out of my pen. And what happens in your head? Do you sit down and see the movie? Do you outline before you write? What do you do?
I sit down on my laptop and then I start writing, and I just let myself go and write, and I imagine things and see it all in my head like cinematic. Yeah.
Do you have any advice if any of our listeners, our viewers, are sitting there thinking, I've always wanted to write a book, because writing a book is no small task. It's actually a very big undertaking. Do you have any advice for somebody that may be thinking that in our viewing audience?
Yeah, I think if you're a writer, then go for it. Believe in yourself, believe in your dream. It's fun, and it's something that you love to do, and you should do it.
I couldn't agree with you more, even if that novel or that book is never published. And people write for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes they're a reader as a child, and they decide that. Were you a reader as a child?
Yes, I was a reader. I loved reading. English was my favorite subject in school. I loved it.
As a former English teacher, I would like to say thank you very much. Who were the authors that you liked? Did any of them influence you?
Yeah, I loved Roald Dahl, Charles Dickens. That's who I loved reading books of when I was a child growing up. And they influenced me a lot in my writing. I can relate to them as well as authors, reading their stories.
I think Dickens was extraordinary. I really enjoyed reading him and enjoyed teaching Dickens when I was a teacher. I think he had an extraordinary mind and an extraordinary imagination. So I think that's a good role model, a good choice. Yeah. I'm sure that our viewers are thinking, all right, where can we find a copy of Big Girls Get Stepped On To? The first place that I'll mention is Amazon. Now, if you've never done Amazon, it's really easy. Just put the word in your search feature at the top. It almost automatically takes you to Amazon. And when you get there, here's what you put into the search feature. You put in Big Girls Get Stepped On To, T-O-O. By Ria, R-I-A, Mann, M-A-N-N, Rosa, R-O-S-A. Click on it and the book will come up. And the cover is very interesting. Ria, where did the cover come from?
I was thinking, of Marilyn Monroe again, and the character in the book, the grandma. She's quite funny, she dresses as Marilyn Monroe, so I wanted that to appear on the front cover, and I thought it would be really, cool.
It's really cute. It's clever. Good job. Yeah. You'll see the cover come up, and in the upper right-hand corner, you see two words, and those two words say open here. If you put your cursor on those two words and just click on the words, the book electronically opens. I always feel like I have to do quotes around electronically opens, and there's a really nice excerpt there that you can read so that you'll get a feel for the flavor of this wonderful little stream of consciousness novel. It's really very interesting. I think even an adult would enjoy reading it. I thought it was captivating.
Yeah.
Now, you can buy it right there on that same page, but I know that some of our viewers don't necessarily like buying from Amazon because they're the 800-pound gorilla in the book business. Is there somewhere else, if our if our viewers don't want to buy from Amazon, is there somewhere else they can get the book?
Yes, there is. You can also buy the book on my publisher's website, Author House, www.authorhouse.com.
Good.
You should be able to find the book there.
Now, you're also doing social media. So let's tell our viewers how to find you on social media. I know you're doing Facebook and you've got a Facebook author page. So tell them how to find you on Facebook.
Well, you can find me on my Facebook, Ria Mann Rosa. I'm an author there and a musician. You can also find me on Instagram, Ria Mann Rosa. And you can find me on TikTok as well, because I'm on TikTok too.
You're a musician.
Yes, I'm also a musician.
What do you play?
I don't really play instruments, but I'm a singer-songwriter.
Wow. So we should expect a book of poetry sometime from you, right?
Yeah.
Ria, this is so much fun. Now, I have one final question that I always like to ask authors, because this is your work and every author's work is important to them, and every author has a reason for their work. When our viewers become readers and they pick up a copy of Big Girls Get Stepped On Too and they read it and they close that back cover for the last time, either electronically or physically, what do you want them to take away from the book? Do you want them to just be entertained with a rollicking story about a great grandmother, or do you want them to take something else away?
Yes, I think big girls get stepped on too. No matter how big or small you are, you can get hurt in life. And you should stay strong, be confident, and always say to yourself, I will survive. Great
message. Ria, it's been so much fun to talk to you. I want to thank you for being my guest today on Books on Air. It's just a pleasure.
Thank you, Suzanne, for having me.
And she's joining us from the UK, by the way. So,
yes,
and we want to thank you for watching our podcast today. And remember, you can find Ria's book, Big Girls Get Stepped On Too, on Amazon.com and on authorhouse.com. This podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, as well as webtalkradio.com. We'd like to thank you so much for being with us today, and I hope that you'll join me for our next video podcast. We'll be looking for you. You never know who's going to be here, and you never know what we're going to talk about.